Hello everybody, how are you today? I'm Rustin and welcome to IELTS با Rustin channel. درود به همه عزیزان، امیدوارم حالتون عالی باشه. راستین هستم و خوش اومدید به کانال IELTS با راستین. امروز میخوام جلسه 16 از تدریس کتاب Mindset for IELTS 2 رو استارت بزنم. اوکی، Unit 4 سکشن لیسنینگ هستیم. In this unit you will learn how to. خب میخوام ببینیم فوکس ما تو این درس تو این Unit 4 سکشن لیسنینگ رو چیه؟ Identify the main subject of conversation. میخوایم اون موضوع اصلی conversationمون رو تشخیص بدیم. Identify the functions that speakers use. میخوایم متوجه بشیم که چه فانکشنایی این گوینده اسپیکر استفاده میکنه و match questions and options. مثلا به عنوان مثال solution to advantages, solution to disadvantages. پس اون کوئسچنی که داریم و با آپشن هایی که در دسترسه میخوایم مچ کنیم. فوکس روی این سه تا گزینه هستش. بریم روی سکشن 1 lead in. Some people are talking about transport problems. What is the problem in each case? Listen to 5 conversation and choose from the list A to E. خب الان بچه ها کارمون چیه؟ این اون بولت پوینت اولیه است. قراره که مین فوکس رو تشخیص بدیم. کانورسیشن رو گوش میکنیم و یک مچینگ بین موضوع اصلی با شماره کانورسیشن 1 2 3 4 تا 5 رو انجام میدیم. خب کانورسیشن رو با هم گوش کنیم.
Track 30. Conversation 1. The next bus should be here soon.
No, it won't. I just checked. It's due in 20 minutes.
20? I don't believe it. It should be every 10 minutes. Oh, this service is getting worse and worse.
You're right. It was never this bad. The bus company just doesn't care about passengers anymore as long as they get the money.
خب همونجوری که خودتونم فهمیدید کاملا فوکس روی چی بوده؟ با سرویس بوده که گفته دیر میاد و 20 minutes حداقل فکر میکنم که 10 دقیقه است و اینکه طرف گفته که همش این سرویس باس، یعنی باس سرویس داره بدتر و بدتر میشه. بس کانورسیشن 1 چیه؟ دی. مین فوکسش رو چی بود؟ The bus service. Conversation 2.
Excuse me, could you tell me why the 4:50 train to London hasn't arrived yet?
I'm afraid there's been an accident on the line at the station before this one.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
خب اینم مشخص بود کاملا در مورد ترین داره صحبت میکنه و گفت there's been an accident and و ادامه داستان. پس موضوع اصلی اینم میشه ترین، یعنی conversation 2 میشه ترین. بریم بر conversation 3.
Conversation 3.
What do you think? Should we take the car? It's the quickest way to get to Bristol. It's straight down the motorway. We should be there in 2 hours.
Haven't you heard? There's fog on the motorway, and there are massive jams all the way down. There's really no point in driving.
Oh, really? Well, shall we take the train? I know it's expensive, but maybe we can get a cheaper fare. I'll have a look at the train website.
Good idea. At least we can get there fairly quickly and safely.
خب conversation 3B بود. داشتن در مورد پلن سفرشون صحبت میکردن، روش هایی که میخواستن برن. اون گفتش که در مورد درایوینگ و کار اینا صحبت کرد، بعد گفت بدر فاگی و فلان و سراخر هم طرف اومد چیکار کنه؟ چک کنه سایتو و ادامه داستان. پس اینم شد a travel plan. Conversation 4.
Conversation 4.
Okay, darling, I'm off to work.
You're not using the car, are you? Remember what the doctor said? You need to get more exercise and lose weight, especially now that your leg is better.
I know, but my leg hurts a bit today. I'd prefer to use the car.
Yes, but it won't get better if you sit in the car.
خب موضوع اصلی اینا در مورد این بودش که از خانومش گفتش که از دوچرخه استفاده کن به خاطر اینکه برای هلست خوبه و اون آقای گفتش که چی؟ پام درد میکنه و هنوز نمیتونم و I prefer to use car. Okay, so conversation 4 is C and of course the last one is A. اینم شد از exercise 1. Exercise 2. Listen again and identify the type of function that the speakers use in each conversation. Choose from the list F to J. با هم انجام میدیم و باقیشو شما میتونید چک کنید و من جواباشو برام می‌نویسم. خب میریم برای conversation 30. همین conversationی که گوش کردیم و دوباره الان فوکسمون روی چیه بچه ها؟ فانکشنی که اسپیکر استفاده میکنه.
Here soon, conversation
خب
1. The next bus should be here soon.
No, it won't. I just checked. It's due in 20 minutes.
20? I don't believe it. It should be every 10 minutes. Oh, this service is getting worse and worse.
You're right. It was never this bad. The bus company just doesn't care about passengers anymore as long as they get the money.
خب conversation 1 چی بود؟ H complaining، داره شکایت میکنه دیگه، ناراضی از شرایط موجود، پس میشه complaining. conversation 2.
Conversation 2.
Excuse me, could you tell me why the 4:50 train to London hasn't arrived yet?
I'm afraid there's been an accident on the line at the station before this one.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Do you have any idea when it might arrive?
Well, at the moment the line's closed, but I've just heard that the company is arranging buses to take passengers to London. There should be one here soon.
Thanks for letting me know.
conversation 2 is J، پرسجو داره میکنه. اوکی، پس اینجا conversation 2 میشه J. خب میتونید پاس کنید، دوباره گوش کنید و بعد جواب رو با هم چک کنیم. conversation 3 is I, conversation 4 is G, and conversation 5 of course is the last one, F. 3. Match the functions F to J with each of these sentences from the conversation. Bullet point اول میکنم. We use language like this to perform these everyday functions and others, such as requesting, agreeing, disagreeing, and advising. You will hear speakers in this lesson using some of these functions. خب یه سری از این فانکشن ها رو میگه قراره که باز هم بشنویم تا آخر این سکشن. 1. Well, shall we take the train؟ خب اینا رو الان قراره چیکار کنیم؟ مچ کنیم با اون F to J که بالا در exercise 2 داشتیم. Well, shall we take the train؟ به نظرتون بچه از چه فانکشنی استفاده کرده؟ proposing دیگه، داره یک ایده، یه نظری رو ارائه میکنه و اینجا بهش میگن چی؟ proposing. از فانکشن proposing استفاده کرده. 2. I really think you should do some more exercise. اینجا persuading، داره تشویقش میکنه برای انجام چی؟ یه سری از حرکات ورزشی. حالا امکان داره به خاطر سلامتی یا امکان داره به خاطر کاهش وزن و اینا باشه. 3. Excuse me, could you tell me؟ و هر سوالی که حالا میخواد باشه. این چیه؟ پرسجو کردن. Inquiring میشه پرسجو کردن. اینم اینجا. 4. Are you sure? I really don't think that's a good idea. This one is F. Expressing doubt. ببین are you sure داره certainty شو مورد سوال قرار میده. I really don't think that's a good idea. فکر نمی کنم که ایده خوبی باشه. پس اینجا شک داره. این چی میشه؟ Expressing doubt. Okay? So this is F. And the last one, I don't believe it. So I don't believe it is complaining. It's complaining. شکایت، ناراضی بودن، شکایت کردن. Next page. Matching questions. You will hear two students working on a university project. They are talking about a transport problems. What is a problem? Choose from the list A to D. خب اون مشکلی که در مورد ترانسپورتیشن دارن، اینا دارن با هم دیگه صحبت میکنن و ما باید بفهمیم که مشکل اصلی چیه در مورد ترانسپورتیشن. تیپ 4 رو میخونم. In the exam, the questions follow the order of information in the recording. خب این خیلی خوبه. پس اینجور سوالا چیه؟ In order جواباش. The answer to each question is the letter that appears next to the correct option in the box. The answer to each questions is the letter that appears next to the. یعنی شما باید فقط A, B, C, D اینا رو بنویسید. قرار نیست چیزی write down بکنید. فقط می‌نویسید جلوش مثلا A, C, D. اوکی؟ پس با letter identify میشه. خب بچه‌ها لیسنینگ 31 رو پخش میکنیم و میخوام ببینیم که مشکل اصلی چیه. What is the problem?
So the main focus of the project is the transport system in the town. We need to look at the problem carefully and then discuss possible solutions. We have to decide which one we could recommend to a transport committee.
Okay, Sophie. I think the problem is not a simple one, as there are various causes that we have to discuss. I think the first one is to do with the bus service in the town. In my view, the lack of buses has meant that too many people are using their cars. The service isn't reliable enough.
Yes, you have a point there. It would be good if we could have more buses on the road all the time, but I don't think that's the main reason for the heavy traffic, and the problem won't go away just by improving bus services.
You could be right. More buses would be useful, but that's not enough to put things right. We have to remember that many people come into town by rail, and the rail company has been talking about reducing staff and services because of financial problems. If that happens, then more people will use their cars to come in. We need to take that into consideration when deciding on a solution.
Of course. I think the town council can find some extra money to support the train service because, if anything, we want to increase the service, to reduce the traffic on the roads. The more people travel by rail, the less they'll use the road. And we would have the added benefit of safer roads, especially at school travel times.
True, but one good thing is that the road accident rate has been falling recently, partly due to the high volume of traffic on the roads. After all, when there's too much traffic, it moves more slowly, and fewer people, especially children, are in danger.
I realize that, but that's exactly what we have to deal with. The problem of too many vehicles coming in. I know children are safer, but the air quality is much worse. We don't want to have more medical problems like asthma and bronchitis, especially for children and older people.
True, and when I think about it, I can see that the heavy traffic means that businesses lose money, people are late for work, and drivers get more stressed. So, let's think about how we can deal with that.
خب بچه ها کنید جواب درست سی بوده، اما باید به این نکته اشاره کنم که مثل همیشه گفتم توی فایل لیسنینگ حواستون به دیسترکتور ها باشه. در واقع به تمام این موارد اشاره شد داخل این لیسنینگ، اما مین پرابلم فقط یکی بوده و اونم سی بود. Question 5. The students are discussing the details of the problem. Listen to the conversation and match each place, A, B, or C, with the correct locations 1 to 4. There is one more location than you need. یه لوکیشن اضافه داریم اینجا. قراره که دوباره گوش کنیم و ببینیم که جزئیات این موضوع در مورد چی دارن صحبت میکنن و پلیس ها رو با هم دیگه مچ کنیم. Ready guys? Here we go.
Track 32.
So, where are the worst affected places in town?
I would say one of the worst is by the art centre.
I'm not sure about that. Statistics show that the worst place is by the town hall.
Well, as most of the traffic comes in from the east of town, that would be the art centre. The town hall is further over.
Actually, Robert, that's not quite right. The traffic gets quite bad along East Road, further out of town. It's been getting worse over the last year or so, especially by the Starview Cinema.
The Starview?
Yes, haven't you ever been there?
No, I haven't. I thought it was by the main roundabout.
Well, in actual fact, it's by the junction of East Road and Station Road. That's where the traffic has been getting really bad, especially in the mornings. It's especially bad for the buses coming from the station, as they can't turn right into East Road to get to the center.
Okay, so that's the first bad spot then.
Yes, sometimes the traffic backs up for almost a kilometer, and in the evening, when everyone is trying to get home, it gets bad all the way back to the main roundabout. It's bad in the morning and the afternoon, as the traffic also comes in from the north and the south. Remember, there's Liverton to the north and Scottsfield to the south, and a lot of people commute to both places for work.
That's true. I live a few kilometres down the Scottsfield Road, and I have a lot of trouble coming in during the morning rush hour. It's especially bad just by the art centre, where the road comes into the roundabout. The buses have a lot of trouble getting through that as well. Okay, so those are the two main hotspots, the Starview and the art centre. I've marked them on the map, and that leaves the town hall.
Yes. I mean, the whole area around Central Park is bad, but you're right, the town hall side of Central Park is the worst in the area. It's bad enough right by the shopping center on the other side of Central Park, but it's particularly bad on the town hall side, with all the heavy lorries coming into the center from the industrial estate on the west side of town. They usually make their deliveries in the morning rush hour.
So you're saying that if we stop them coming in early to
Okay, so, okay, location 1 is B. Starview Cinema. So this is location 1. It's B. Okay. Location 2 is C. And location 4 is A. That's it. Now 6. Now the students are discussing possible solution to the traffic problems and possible advantages to each. پس possible solution ترافیک ها رو میخوام بگن، یعنی اون راهی که بتونن تکل بکنن این مشکل رو، و همچنین possible disadvantages، همچنین که چه معایبی امکان داره داشته باشه. Listen to the conversation and match the disadvantages A to D with the solution 1 to 4. اون معایبه رو میخوایم با اون راهکارهایی که برای حلش دادن مچ کنیم الان. 1 to 4 A to D. خب listening 33 رو پلی میکنیم و میریم برای حلش.
Track 33.
The first proposal is to introduce bus and cycle lanes on the roads coming into each of the trouble spots, but I'm not really sure that that will solve the problem by itself.
What do you mean? I think it's a really good idea. I think it would help a lot.
On the face of it, yes, but in actual fact, it can make things worse. There have been a few studies of towns and cities where they've put schemes like that into operation, and one serious problem is that car traffic tends to go off into the areas around town where people live, and that causes more traffic in places where there haven't been problems before. Drivers think they can find emptier roads in residential areas, and it just sends the problem there instead.
I hadn't thought.
خب نمبر بچه شماره اولی یعنی نمبر 1 چی بود؟ bus and cycle only lanes میشه it will move traffic into residential area. اگه دقت کنیم گفتش که این باعث بشه که راننده ها رو بکشونه به residential area. ادامهش گوش کن.
About that. What about the second one? A park and ride scheme.
این میشه پارک اند سایکل. اوکی پس نگاه کنید این اوردره همونجوری که تو اون نکته گفتیم، یعنی جواب اولیه رو شما میگیری که همونجوری که گفتم B بود، یعنی نمبر 1 بود B. جواب اول رو تیک میزنی میری برای دوم. الان شد پارک اند راید. بس حواستون باشه، خیالتون جمع، وقتی که جواب گزینه اول رو پیدا کردید مطمئن باشید که دومیه جواب دومی است، جواب سومی یا چهارمیه نیست، یعنی اون در هم ریختگی وجود نداره. اوکی 2 3 4 بچه به خاطر کپی رایت من دیگه زیاد نمیتونم فایل طولانی رو پخش کنم، بهتره که همینجا استاپ کنم و فقط جواب رو بهتون میگم. 2 is D, 3 is A and 4 is C. دقت کنید بچه ها، سعی کنید توی این فایل های لسنینگ اولا همونجور که گفتم مهمترین چیز کیورد ها هستش. پس توی سوال اول داری میخونی اینجا چی داری؟ به عنوان مثال گفته it will move traffic into residential area. این قضیه residential area اینجا کیورده، این قضیه move traffic اینجا کیورده. سعی کنید اون نکاتی که اون جملاتی که یا اون ورد های سینونیمی یا پرفریزی که میشنوید توی لسنینگ رو یادداشت کنید برای اینکه خودتون رو تست کنید. نیاز نیست تا توی امتحان، فقط برای اینکه خودتون رو تست کنید ببینید که کیورد هایی که زیرش خط کشیدید اولا درست بوده و دوما آیا تشخیص میدید قشنگ کیورد های که داخل لسنینگ فایل لسنینگ پخش میشه سینونیما رو متوجه میشید و اونا رو با هم دیگه مطابقت بدید. یعنی اصلا روش این که شما بتونید خیلی راحت تر تشخیص بدید جواب همینه، مطابقت دادن کیورد ها سینونیم ها در فایل لسنینگ و در گزینه یا همون آپشن هایی که تو سوال خودتون دارید. Section 7. Listen to the students discussion about cost and match the costs. A to F with the solution 1 to 4. There are 2 more costs than you need. بچه دو تا آپشن کلا دیسترکتره برای اینکه شما رو به خطا بندازه و اضافه است، نیاز نداری. 4 تا کاست داری و 4 تا چی؟ حالا اون مچینگ کاست رو انجام بدی با حالا ترانسپورت سیستم، باسن سایکل آنلی لینز، هر کدومشون یه قیمتی بهشون اختصاص داده میشه توی این لسنینگ و شما باید اینو مچ کنید. خب این فایل خیلی چیز خاصی نیستش، فقط مچینگ کاسته و من فقط جوابا رو دوباره بهتون میگم که با هم چک کنیم. 1F 2A 3B and the last one is E. اوکی و ماباقی چی بودش؟ اضافه بوده. پس A B E و F. 8. Listen to the discussion of the likely benefits of each proposal and match the proposal A to D with the benefits 1 to 5. حالا قراره که اون فایده ای که هر کدوم از این ایده‌ای که ارائه شده پروپوز شده رو با هم چیکار کنیم؟ مچ کنیم. با چه ایده‌هایی هستند و چه بنفیت ها. نگاه کنید. Park and ride, bus and cycle only routes, pedestrian area and one-way system, tram transport system. حالا این چی داری؟ Better public transport, more visitors. اینا بنفیتاشن دیگه. Better health, less pollution and congestions, greater safety. پس پروپوزال ها قرار با اون مزایا بنفیت هاش با هم دیگه مچ بشه. تیپ A تو میخونم. In the listening test there are not always the same number of questions, numbers and options letters. مثل question 7 داره میگه همیشه قرار نیستش که اگر ما 4 تا گزینه داریم 4 تا آپشن بدیم برای مچینگ. امکان داره 2 تا بیشتر، 3 تا بیشتر، یکی بیشتر وجود داشته باشه. Sometimes there are fewer options than questions, so you will need to choose the same option more than once. Sometimes there are fewer questions than options, so you will not need to use all the options. میگه امکان داره که بعضی اوقات هم چی باشه؟ تعداد اون آپشن ها کمتر باشه و شما نگاه کنید so you will need to choose the same options more than once. امکان داره مثلا question 8 رو در نظر بگیرید به جای 4 تا آپشن 3 تا آپشن باشه و یکی از این آپشن ها امکان داره 2 بار استفاده بشه. پس حواسمون باید به این باشه. خیلی پیش میاد که بچه‌ها بدونین که سوال رو بخونن میرن برای انجام دادن چی؟ جواب، حل کردن سوال. و اون جاهایی که به مشکل برمیخورن نمره از دست میدن مثل همین جاست و مخصوصا اونجایی که میگه با 2 تا کلمه یا عدد، با 3 تا کلمه یا عدد. طرف نخونده به عنوان مثال که لیمیتیشنش 2 تاست، میره تو جواب 3 تا کلمه مینویسه، جوابش با این که درسته نمره از دست میده. پس حتما سوال کامل بخونید بعد برید سراغ حل کردن اون سوال. خب listening 35. من listening 35 رو پلی میکنم و بنفیتا رو با هم دیگه مچ میکنیم.
Track 35.
So we've discussed the negative aspects and costs of these proposals, but now I'd like to look at the real benefits which we think each proposal will bring.
Well, I really think that one of the most important benefits is better public transport. The most important thing is to get more people out of their cars and onto public transport.
Well, 3 of the proposals would help with that: park and ride, bus and cycle only routes, and the new tram system. Which do you think would be the best out of those 3?
I think the bus and cycle routes would be great for town centre transport, but they might push car traffic further out and make it more difficult for buses outside the centre. That leads me to think that the tram system would actually improve public transport the most, even though it's the most expensive, as there will be a new form of transport in the centre without affecting other parts of town.
I think you have a good point there. I agree that in the long term, it would be the best thing. Do you think that proposal would also increase the amount of visitors in town?
Well, of course. Any of the solutions would do that, but I'm not sure if the tram system would be the best. What do you think?
I think the park and ride would be better than the tram system for that. The trams would help people who are already in town, but a park and ride would bring more of them in from outside.
So you think the park and ride would bring most visitors in?
Actually, I think if people know that they can get around the center more easily, do their shopping and so on, they would come in more. So perhaps the pedestrian area and one-way system would be best in that respect.
True. I've seen other town centres become really busy when they've put in pedestrian areas, so that's clearly the best way of bringing visitors in. So we agree on that then.
And I think that people's health will improve as well, as they will be walking around the pedestrian area rather than driving around town.
Okay, number 1 is D. Okay, tram transport system, better public transport. So number 1 is D. Well, you can write here or you can write here. For example, you can here say D or here. یا میتونید اینجا بنویسید یا اونجاش فرق نمیکنه. حالا 1D. 2 is C. Okay, 2 is C. So 2 is C. 3 is B. 3 is B. Here. 4 is A. 4 is A and 5 is C. خب نگاه کنید بچه ها، الان اینجا C 2 بار به کار رفته، درسته؟ همونجور که اینجا گفته بود sometimes there are fewer questions than options, so you will not need to use all the options. یا که اینجا so you will need to choose the same option more than once. این الان این بودش. اوکی، ما اومدیم از گزینه C بیشتر از یک بار استفاده کردیم. We'll go to the next page. Identifying different functions. Sophie and Robert used functions A to G. Listen to extract from their conversation and write the functions used in each. There is one more اینو میگم بچه ها نگاه کنید دقیقا اینجا. There is one more function than you need. Listening 36.
Track 36. 1.
Actually, Robert, that's not quite right.
خب بچه فانکشن این چی بود؟ Actually Robert, that's not quite right. پس extract one بود E. Disagreeing دیگه گفت that it's not quite right. یعنی کاملا درست نیست در واقع.
2.
I think you have a good point there.
I think you have a good point there. So this is B, approving. داره تایید میکنه یا accepting.
3.
On the face of it, yes, but in actual fact, it can make things worse.
خب به ظاهر میگه اوکی، اما در اصل اینه که چیه؟ قضیه رو بدتر میکنه. correcting داره میکنه، داره تصحیحش میکنه. میگه این ایده ای که داری، این فکری که داری در اصل درست نیست.
4. What about the second one? A park and ride scheme.
خب extract 4 میشه A, proposing, suggesting. داره نظر میده دیگه، داره میگه در مورد مثلا فلان موضوع چی؟ نظر چی؟
5.
Up to a point, yes. But I'm sure you'd agree that encouraging people to do more cycling would help health far more.
خب این persuading داره اینا رو متقاعد میکنه که از دوچرخه استفاده کنن و برای مردم بهتر.
6.
I'm not sure about that. Statistics show that the worst place is by the town hall.
خب I'm not sure about that. تابلوی که expressing doubt. اوکی. So this is C. C هم خط خورد. اینجا F هم و G هم خط میخوره و یه گزینه همونجور که گفت چیه؟ بیشتر از اون میزانیه که ما احتیاج داریم. And the last section is exam skills, and as it always it is up to you and it's your homework and please do it on your own. Guys, رسیدی به آخر جلسه 16 از تدریس کتاب آموزش for IELTS 2. اگر از این جلسه هم خوشتون اومده ممنون میشم که این ویدیو رو لایک کنید. اگر تا الان کانال رو سابسکرایب نکردید لطفا کانال رو سابسکرایب کنید. تیک زنگوله هم فعال کنید که نوتیفیکیشن ویدیوهای جدیدم براتون بیاد. لایک، کامنت و شیر هم یادتون نره. تا جلسه آینده خدا نگهدار. See you guys. Bye.